1896. Newberry, Michigan, in the heart of the Upper Peninsula. Two lumberjacks are clearing land for a local farmer when their tools strike something that should not be there. Buried in the soil are two small clay figures and a flat tablet, 19 inches by 26, its surface covered edge to edge with carved symbols in a tight, deliberate grid. Newberry in 1896 is logging country, a small town carved out of dense Upper Peninsula forest, its economy built on timber and little else. Nobody working this land expects to find anything beneath it but roots and rock. The two men who uncover the tablet have no training in archaeology, no reason to suspect they have found anything more than an oddly shaped stone. But the marks covering its surface are unmistakably deliberate, too regular to be natural, too dense to be a simple mistake or coincidence. Word of the find spreads through the small logging community and eventually reaches people with the means to have it properly examined. Photographs of the tablet are sent out to two of the most respected institutions in the country, capable of identifying such an object: the Smithsonian Institution and the University of Michigan. The response, when it comes back, is not what anyone expects. The tablet contains 140 individual characters arranged in careful rows across its surface. Neither institution can identify the writing system. It does not match any known Native American pictographic tradition from the region. It does not match any European alphabet, ancient or modern. It simply does not correspond to anything the era's leading experts have ever cataloged. Faced with a script nobody can read, and no clear explanation for how it came to be buried in the Michigan woods, the scientific consensus at the time settles on the simplest answer available. The tablet is dismissed as a hoax. No formal investigation follows. No excavation of the surrounding site is conducted to search for anything else that might explain its presence. The tablet is quietly filed away as a curiosity rather than a genuine mystery, and for decades it fades from serious attention entirely. It does not disappear, though. The tablet, along with the two small clay figures found alongside it, eventually ends up in the hands of private collectors, passed from owner to owner as little more than a local oddity. In the 1920s, a man named Von Norton builds a tourist attraction near St. Ignace called Fort Algonquin, designed to look like an old fur trading outpost from Michigan's colonial past. Somehow, the Newberry tablet finds its way into Norton's possession, and it goes on display there, a curiosity for passing tourists, rather than a serious subject of study. The tablet eventually passes to a doctor living in St. Ignace, a collector of odd and historic artifacts who displays it in the gift shop attached to his own small museum. After his death, the collection, tablet included, moves once more, this time to the Fort de Bois Museum in downtown St. Ignace, where fragments of it remain on public display to this day. Because here is what almost nobody realizes when they first hear this story. The tablet you can see today is not what those two lumberjacks pulled from the ground in 1896. Over more than a century of handling, storage, and repeated relocation, much of the original tablet has crumbled away. What survives now is only a few broken pieces worn down by time, with none of the original writing still legible on their surface. The one artifact capable of proving or disproving its own authenticity has been slowly destroyed by the very process of being kept. This is where the mystery takes its strangest turn. In the decades since the tablet was first dismissed as a hoax, a small number of researchers have revisited old photographs and rubbings taken of the characters before they eroded away. Some have proposed a comparison that, if taken seriously, would upend everything assumed about the tablet's origin: a resemblance to Linear A, the still largely undeciphered writing system of the ancient Minoan civilization, which flourished on the island of Crete roughly 3,000 years before Christ and vanished more than 1,000 years before it. The problem with that theory is immediate and obvious. There is no accepted historical explanation for how a script native to a Mediterranean island civilization, extinct for over 3,000 years, could end up carved into a clay tablet buried in the forests of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. No trade route connects them. No migration explains it. If the comparison holds any water at all, it raises a question far larger than the tablet itself, one that mainstream archaeology has no framework to answer. Skeptics point to a simpler, more mundane possibility. By 1896, tales of ancient lost civilizations and mysterious inscriptions were widely circulated in popular literature and newspapers. Exactly the kind of cultural backdrop that could inspire a well-read hoaxer to fabricate an impressive-looking forgery for money, attention, or simple amusement. Under this theory, the tablet was never ancient at all, simply a clever fake dressed up to look far older and stranger than it actually was, buried specifically to be discovered by unsuspecting laborers. But a hoax explanation carries its own unanswered questions. If the tablet was fabricated purely for effect, why would its creator invent a script that, by chance or design, would later draw comparison to one of the most obscure and specialized areas of ancient linguistics, a script that even trained epigraphers struggle to read today? Coincidence is possible. It is also, to some who have studied the case, deeply unsatisfying as a complete answer. What remains today offers no way to settle the question conclusively. The surviving fragments of the Newberry tablet, stripped of their legible writing by more than a century of handling, sit quietly in a small museum display case in St. Ignace, Michigan, alongside artifacts most visitors barely pause to examine. The two clay figures found alongside it remain there too, worn down by the same slow decay. No modern forensic dating has ever definitively settled the tablet's age or origin. No institution has ever formally reversed its original hoax determination, and none has ever proven it correct beyond doubt either. The Smithsonian's initial dismissal from 1896 remains, in the absence of any conclusive follow-up, the closest thing to an official answer the case has ever received. 140 characters, carved by someone, for some reason, into a slab of clay that ended up buried in the Michigan wilderness. A writing system nobody in 1896 could identify, and one that nobody today, with the original marks long since crumbled to dust, will ever be able to properly examine again. Whatever those symbols said, and whoever put them there, the answer went into the ground with the tablet, and it has never fully come back out.